Hello and welcome to Derry Community Television. My name is Kimberley Haas. Today we are at the annual Veterans Appreciation Cookout put on by both Rotaries. I am joined by United States Senator Kelly Ayotte. So great to see you.
Thanks, Kimberley. It's great to be with you, and it's such an honor to be here for this Veterans Appreciation Barbecue.
Maybe you could tell the taxpayers at home why it's so important that we continue to support our military and our veterans.
I think we would not be a free country and enjoy the freedoms and democracy that we do without the sacrifice of our veterans. And we are so blessed to have wonderful men and women who serve and sacrifice for us with great courage. And so we need to thank our veterans every single day.
Yeah, it's so important to remember, especially since today is the true Memorial Day. I know you have a lot of things you need to do today, so we're going to let you get on your way. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience at home?
No, I would just like to thank everyone at home who served our nation and their family members, and just say thank you, our nation, our state. We are grateful for your service.
Absolutely. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Dear Lord, we ask your blessings upon the men and the women represented here today for their service in the many branches of our armed forces. They have protected our freedoms both on our soil and in foreign lands. Their bravery and patriotism does not go unnoticed. And to those whom gave all, we say a divine thank you for your sacrifice. Your faces may be gone from this earth, but your heroism remains with each breath we take as members of a free nation with rights and privileges afforded to us merely for being citizens of the greatest United States of America. And finally, in full measure, bless upon our men and women still serving safety and upon our wounded healing hands. Bless this food to our use and us to thy service, and be ever mindful of the needs of others. In Jesus' name, amen.
You know her? Senator Ayotte. Specialist for veterans, partners of veterans, fellow Rotarians. Welcome to the annual Veterans Appreciation Barbecue. Senator Ayotte, you are sure of a warm welcome here, and we appreciate the time you've given to join us at our function today. I took special pains to pronounce your name correctly. I believe that the chairman of the Republican National Committee mangled it recently. I don't want to share his fate in the press. Over the years, this occasion has grown in importance to us, the Rotary Clubs of Derry, that being Derry and Derry Village, and also to you, the veterans that have served our country. We started by taking a group of veterans to Washington, D.C. to view the monuments. Over time, the event has changed into an appreciation of all local veterans and their spouses. Rotarian fundraising events such as the comedy night, auction, and car show are used to raise money to provide for today, as well as the number of other local charities that Rotary supports, such as the Soup Kitchen and the Boys and Girls Club, who have graciously agreed to host us today.
Rotary Club.
The event has grown to the extent that, to paraphrase Roy Schneider in Jaws, next year we're going to need a bigger tent. Today is about veterans, though, and about showing and continuing to show appreciation for the sacrifices you have made. We are all in your debt because of the sacrifices allow us to exercise the freedoms and privileges that come with living in the US and in New England. As we celebrate your service and show our appreciation to you, we remember those who are not here to show in the warmth and camaraderie of this gathering. I too am a veteran, though from another time and place, in another hemisphere. But I have memories of those who did not make it. In my case, I remember in particular Lieutenant Tim Patrick, who died on a dusty African plain during the Battle of Savati on May 22nd, 1980. You undoubtedly have your own memories. We Rotarians sincerely hope that our small gesture shows our appreciation to you for all you have done. I'd also like to acknowledge Derry Village Rotary President, Suzanne Bernier-Robinson, who will be presenting the gifts at the end of the ceremony. Now, I'd like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies, Craig Barbeque. Craig served on active duty in the US Army from 1972 to 1978. In 1978, he left active duty and joined the active US Army Reserve, where he served until he retired as a full colonel in 2002. Please join me in welcoming Craig Barbeque.
Thank you, Peter. If there's one thing that I learned in 30 years in the military, it was how to take orders, and I've been given orders to move things along. Because everybody's hungry, right? Well, I just want to repeat that the Derry Village Rotary and the Derry Rotary Club want to welcome you all. The veterans sitting here have all sacrificed for our country through your service, and this event is our way of saying thank you for both your service and your sacrifice. We're now going to do the Pledge to the Allegiance and the National Anthem. I'm going to ask everyone to stand. Post colors. Chief Ed Barone will lead us in the pledge as soon as the colors are posted.
Ready, halt, left, head, post, color.
I pledge allegiance
Our national anthem will be sung by Julie Haas.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Julie. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep this moving along, but we have a very special guest that I'm very proud to introduce. In your programs, you'll find an extended biography on Senator Ayotte. But I just want to say that she's a native of New Hampshire, born in Nashua. She was the first female AG in New Hampshire appointed in 2004, and I had the pleasure and privilege of working with her up in the state government. She was elected to the Senate in 2010. She serves on the Armed Services, Budget, Commerce, Homeland Security, and Governmental Affairs and Aging Committees. And Kelly has firsthand knowledge of the military and that her husband flew combat missions during the Iraq War. So please join me in welcoming Senator Kelly Ayotte.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the kind introduction. I want to just thank each of you who is here today for the Derry Rotaries and Derry Village Rotary for putting together this Veterans Appreciation Barbecue. And most of all, I want to thank each of you today who has served our country. Going back, every generation of this country has stepped forward and has served our country. And I think that all of us here today appreciate on this beautiful afternoon that we only enjoy the freedoms we have in this country because of those in every generation, brave men and women who have sacrificed on behalf of this great country. And it really represents the greatness of America, the veterans who have served here and those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. And today is the true Memorial Day. And so for us to remember and honor those who gave the last full measure that they had in defense and in service to this nation, it's so appropriate that we would gather here today to also appreciate those who still we're blessed to have with us from every generation who has served. From World War II, I know we have many of our World War II veterans here today, Korea, Vietnam, thinking of every conflict, Iraq, Afghanistan, those who have served in faraway places that maybe we haven't even been able to publicly recognize for their service to our country. And so I'm deeply honored to be with you. One of the things that's a real privilege for me is serving on the Senate Armed Services Committee. Obviously, I'm married to an Iraq War veteran, but having been to Afghanistan in January, I am always struck by when I meet our men and women in uniform, how fortunate we are because we have the very best military in the world. And also how fortunate we are that every generation serves this nation, and they serve with the honor and the courage that the generation before them has done. And so that is a great American tradition that we recognize today. And also, I want to recognize the family members of those who have served, because our men and women cannot serve and cannot do what we ask of them, which is incredibly difficult, without the support that they get at home from their friends, from their family, from their parents, from their husbands and wives. And so to all the family members who are here today, we thank you too as well, because you have served our nation, because when your loved one serves, you serve as well. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Let me just end with, as we stand here today, I just don't want any of us to forget, not that I think anyone here would. We have 60,000 troops overseas right now in Afghanistan. We have troops serving in other difficult areas of the world. And so as we recognize and appreciate every veteran who has served here today for your courageous service to our nation, let's just say a prayer that they come home safely and that they come home as soon as possible. So I thank you for having me here today, and may God bless all of you. May God bless the greatest country on earth.
Thank you, Senator Ayotte. We appreciate you coming and joining us.
And we are with Specialist Derek Ball. It's so nice to have you come out for the event today. Maybe you could share for the audience at home what you were telling the ladies and gentlemen during your presentation.
Well, I was really just asked to come out here by a friend of the family. Obviously can't say no to a day like this. I really just wanted to convey to them that how much we appreciate them, especially the younger generation of soldier, how much we admire and really look up to the older generations, the World War II, the World War, the Korean Wars, and how we really look up to them and trying to take after them to, be the best soldiers we can be.
I know sometimes I don't think that people realize that for our generation, we really look up to the Vietnam veterans, the Korean War veterans, the World War II veterans, and they're a good role model for all of us. How long have you served in the Army?
I was in the Army for 4 years.
And what do you do now?
Right now, actually, I'm waiting to get hired on a fire department, but currently I'm just contracting.
And how do you think your military experience will help you in the future with your job in the fire department?
Whoever's hiring me, hopefully is ex-military. That'd be nice.
Yeah, and so you'll understand the protocols and the procedures and the rhythm and the routine.
Right, the fire department is loosely military based, so I think that will help me in terms of following leadership and being basically when told to do something, do it. So.
And how do you think the Army has enhanced your life in other ways?
It's definitely made me a more respectful person. It's made me appreciate life a lot more, that's for sure. And just in everyday life, leadership skills, just basic stuff, honor, integrity, and just personal courage to get through, life's challenges.
And what do you say to a young man or woman who might approach you? I mean, you're very distinguished, you have your uniform on today, and they want to be part of the modern military. What would you say to them? What advice would you give them?
No matter whatever you do, whatever you go in as or whatever you plan for your job, just do 100%. 100% everything that you do, and you'll go far. You'll do well.
My name's Ray Devone from Derry. I was a machinist mate first class in the U.S. Navy, Vietnam vet. I'm here with my wife, Pat. We were honored by the Derry Rotary and the Village Rotary at this wonderful meal. And and this wonderful gift we got. We're just very appreciative that we were honored this way. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Pat. I'm the spouse of Raymond. This is our second year that we've come, and we're so honored just to be here and to honor all the veterans that are here. Thank you.
My name is Brad Gay. I'm a captain in the 84th Engineer Battalion, Fort Ord, California. Served during the Vietnam era.
I'm Chief Master Sergeant Laban T. Bumpus, USAF retired. How are you? And we enjoyed ourselves.
Hi there, I'm Master Sergeant OCJ Howard Bumpus, USMC, USAF retired. I've had a great time. I am so appreciative of what the Rotarians do for us every year, and I've had a great day. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Barbara Crooker. I'm proud to say my husband, Doug, is a Vietnam veteran, and I'm happy to be here with all the rest of the veterans. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Richard Cabildis. I spent time in Vietnam. I've been coming to this function for the past 3 or 4 years, and the Rotary Club does a fantastic job. I thank all the people that take care of us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Priscilla Cabildis. I'm Mick's wife. And like I said, all the people that joined the service, I'm happy to come and enjoy this meal and see all the World War veterans. Thank you.
Okay. Richard Brainerd, United States Marine Corps, 6 years, Vietnam, Tet Offensive.
Richard Child, 20 years in the Air National Guard of New Hampshire. During the Vietnam War.
I'm Don Page, U.S. Navy, World War II, 1945 and 46. Served on a heavy cruiser, and we were based in Guantanamo Bay, would you believe, way back then.
My name is Dick Asher. I was in the Army National Guard for 2 years, Air Force for 4 years, from 58 to 62. And I loved serving my country. I enjoyed it. And I don't know what else to say. I loved it. I had a good day here. This was very good. The Rotary Club, excellent. Very good. And I live in Hampstead, New Hampshire. Come on over anytime.
I was very lucky. I was in the Army in the 80s, so there was no big conflict. The only thing that was going on at the time I was in the Army was Grenada, and my cousin went with my truck, but I didn't go, and I'm kind of sad. But I did go to Korea and did a little bit of service for our country. We were locating the tunnels that the North Koreans were digging into South Korea. I surveyed 2 of the tunnels and located many of the drill holes that we had drilled to find the tunnels. So I enjoyed my service in the country. I love my service, I love my country, and I thank the Derry Rotary for all they do for us veterans. Thank you very much.
My name is Glenn Paradise. I'm a true native. I was born and raised in my own house in Derry, New Hampshire. I served 4 years in the Navy, 1 year in Vietnam with an attack squadron. I enjoyed it. I would serve my country again if I had the need, and I really appreciate what the Rotary does for all the veterans. Thank you.
I'm sure everybody at home recognizes these 2 distinguished gentlemen that are standing with me right now. Maybe I could have each of you introduce yourself to the audience.
David Mills, State Representative from Derry.
John O'Connor, State Representative, Derry.
And now, did both of you serve in the military?
Yes, I was Air Force from 68 to 72, Vietnam from 69 to 70.
Air Force 70, 74, 72.
And so, of course, you understand the importance of recognizing and supporting our veterans. Why are you here today?
Well, I got to admit, probably us more than anything else, the Vietnam veterans weren't really recognized in this country for the longest time until the Derry Rotary 2 years ago decided to sponsor a Vietnam veteran thing, and it was the first time a lot of us put our head above the sands, shall we say, and admitted that we were Vietnam veterans. It wasn't acceptable, socially acceptable back then. So we thank the Rotary for that.
Yeah, it's a totally different environment than it was when my father came back from Vietnam.
Exactly. We weren't welcomed at all back then, and we always felt like we had to hide. And then, thanks to Derry Rotary, they brought it all out into the open, saying, "Hey, we all have to be recognized," and they did, and I thank them for that.
I'm so glad that they have as an organization. How about you, John? What's your story?
Same thing with the Rotary a few years ago when they had to welcome back Vietnam veterans. It was very hard to come forward. Some of us, as Representative Mills had indicated, that when we came back from overseas, some of us landing at the airports, and I won't go into any detail, had some serious issues, and we've had a hard time with that. What the Derry Rotary has done is brought the camaraderie of the whole group together. There are 2 Pearl Harbor survivors sitting right over there. That's phenomenal. The few of the World War II veterans still left, the Koreans that had stood up there, and the majority of the Vietnam veterans, and now the newer soldiers that are coming back from whether it be the Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, Iraq. And I'm also sorry to say that I had the opportunity to meet with a beautiful, lovely family, Lieutenant Paul Demio's family, Senator Kelly Ayotte, Senator Roush, myself, and Mary Till of Derry. Had to have a private meeting with the family, and we went up to Boscawen. And I want to say this publicly, that the Derry Fire Department, the Derry Police Department, what they did to recognize this fallen hero was remarkable. And then as we proceeded, the children, let me rephrase that, the students of Pinkerton in rain, over 3,000 of them, lining from the circle all the way up to Stockbridge on both sides, you could hear a pin drop. It brought tears to your eyes. What the Concord people did, and the fire departments on every bridge as we went over stood in salute in full gear in honoring this fallen hero. And the fact that his twin brothers, his parents went, because this weekend as he passed away, they both, one from the Naval Academy and one from the West Point Academy, received their lieutenant bars. And that needs to be known, and the people should hear that, and they should be out there recognizing and supporting our veterans out there. A lot of us weren't supported years ago, but we're all there for them, and as a nation, a lot of us are now grateful for the new heroes we have. Thank you for letting me speak.
Yes, and we are eternally grateful for every man and woman who has ever served our country, regardless of the branch of military or the wartime that they served in. Thank you, gentlemen. We really appreciate your time.
My name is Jim Bellotta. I was in the United States Marine Corps. I joined in when I was 19 years old. December 29, 1939. The reason I was in Hawaii was because the Japanese were doing very good in the Philippines. In the 4th Defense Battalion that I was part of left Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, and we were to regroup in Hawaii. But while we were getting ready to regroup in Hawaii, the Japanese attacked. We were outside having breakfast. Very, very warm morning. We were watching the planes. We didn't know what they were until we got the call to arms. And then we were all told to go back to our stations. And from then on, we were split up into different groups. I was sent to Palmyra Island, 90 miles south of Pearl Harbor. I was in charge, a sergeant in charge of the machine gun group. I stayed there for about a year. And then we went to different other places. And I ended up in Okinawa. Then I was discharged in Bainbridge, Maryland, after 6 years in the Marine Corps. I was very, very fortunate to come back when I did.
I'm Herb Billingsley. I'm originally from Lowell, Mass. Back in 1943, I graduated high school in June, and June 13th, I was in the Navy. At the time, I had my choice of going in the Army, Navy, Marines, or whatever, and I chose the Navy because I liked water. My first engagement was Normandy, and I felt sorry for the Marines and the Army because half the guys, most of the guys were seasick before they hit the beach. The water was so rough. And I felt sorry for paratroopers because they were getting picked off like flies. Nobody realized how bad that was. But it was a well-planned attack. In fact, we were assigned to protect an Army group that had already landed, and they were trapped by a machine gun nest. And they were telling us where to fire, and we hit the machine gun nest, and they all came out safe. That's my first engagement was Normandy. And then went to Guam, Okinawa, and practically all the Philippines. And I'm thankful that I came back in one piece. And off the Lingayen Gulf, one of the jet planes wiped out our bridge and killed our skipper and 18 other of my buddies. It was one of those things I'll never forget. But like I say, I came back in one piece, and I'm thankful for that. I'm happy to be here because these guys really do a great job for us. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for watching our coverage of the Veterans Appreciation Barbecue. Once again, my name is Kimberley Haas. Have a great day.